What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Northeast Florida surf fishing update this time. It's been a couple of weeks, been extremely busy, and it's been extremely hot. Today, at one point, the temperature was 100 degrees in Neptune Beach where I was working with a heat index of 124. So yes, when you're doing landscaping, the last 2 weeks have been miserable, and honestly, there hasn't been much going on in the surf, guys. If you have been trying to go fishing here lately in the Northeast Florida area, especially Ponte Vedra, Jax Beach, Neptune Beach, Hanna Park, we have had consistent, persistent south winds, southwest in the morning, switching over to the southeast in the afternoon, and by around 4 or 5 o'clock, it's straight south. Hey, Buckness, yeah, I'm back. And the south winds have been horrendous, guys. Today, they were at one point southeast at 20. And that picture, oh, yes, Wes, it is, if you could bottle it and sell it as chocolate milk, you might make quite a bit of money. It just won't taste like chocolate milk. And walked out on the pier. Guys, small catfish, small croakers, small spots, a few whiting. So that's what you're gonna pretty much have happen up and down the beach as well. Now, I have heard Huguenot and Little Talbot the water's been better. And right on the north side of Volano up against the rocks, the water's been a little bit better. But the problem is the water temperature is also around 85, 86 degrees. A few different places I looked. That's extremely hot. And if you're not out there early, you might as well forget about it. You need to go early or go late in the afternoon and then hope the fish are hungry. Right now, I have not been seeing any finger mullet in the surf. There's been some out further past the surf zone. I did find a bunch of sand fleas this week, but they have been hard to find too in this heat. And I found them in Neptune Beach, found a good amount that froze up for this fall because honestly, never know what's going to happen in the summer and fall. Some years there'll be plenty of sand fleas, and other years there won't. But the real consistent thing is if you have them, the fish will eat them, especially as the water cools down. And we're about to go into August. Now, last August, there were tons of mullet in the surf, and the water temperatures hang around 82, 83. Right now, it's, like I said, 85, 86. It's prime, and the longer these south winds go, I mean, the water is not going to drop at all. And looking at the extended forecast for the wind, it's like all the way until next Thursday. I saw southwest to south winds, and then finally towards the end of next week, we might have some straight east winds, which would be great. We just need something to clean the water up. And if it does get clean, guys, maybe some mullet will start hanging around in the surf. Be a couple Spanish, maybe a few scattered pompano, a few whiting. But honestly, I was going over the old pier logs from the old Jacksonville Beach Pier, 6th Avenue South, for the month of July and August. And it's not real promising, unfortunately, when the water's this hot. There was an occasional catch of a flounder or a drum or a red. But for the most part, the whiting and pompano were non-existent. Now, those months where we had a thermocline, if you don't know what that is, it's where we get patches of cold water that come in, and the water could literally go from 84 down to 75. In one of the books, one year it got down to 71, and that was like at the end of July. And the whiting catches, multiple people had catches of 40, 50 whiting, spots, croakers, but a lot of whiting. The kingfish get out of here, and they get out ahead of the colder water, as well as the tarpon. But if you like whiting, man, it fires them off. They come out from the deeper waters in shallow and feed like crazy. Now, if you have a kayak, or if you can fish, say, the Volano Inlet near the rocks, Huguenot Rocks, even Little Talbot in the inlet, Fort George, there have been tons of tarpon cruising the beach eating the pogies as well as kingfish. So if you got a kayak, go early in the morning when the winds are southwest to west. It tends to be much flatter. And find some pogies, get a few pogies, and you're going to hook up with something. Hopefully not a shark, because there's plenty of them Yeah, I heard Hector's good. And if you don't want to try the surf in the heat, guys, I suggest hitting the river because right now there are some really nice, you say it every time this time of year, tons of mangrove snapper coming up, some really nice ones. Speckled trout, redfish back in the creeks. If you don't want to catch any fish and you want to catch bait for the fall, the shrimping is off the charts right now. Tons of shrimp, nice shrimp, and the river shrimp are really good to freeze for the fall. Those whiting and pompano will tear them up. And yeah, so far no hurricanes, knock on wood, right guys? So we just have a pretty much a high pressure system from what the weather guy was saying, and it's just sitting there, and that's really why we have this same pattern every day. Southwest in the morning, around 12 or 1, switching to the east. Hour later, it's southeast, and then 2 hours later, it's straight south-southeast strong, and then the water. When I walk out on the pier, you can look as far south, and it is just straight mud. It's bad. The clear line isn't even visible anymore when we're looking east into the ocean. At least if you can see a clear line, it gives you some hope that if we got some good wind, it would clean up fast. But right now, that's not happening. But we're back. We'll go back to two reports a week. They help y'all out, let you know what's going on in the surf. And I forgot I had these for a while now. These fishing line, the FWC put them out. I think I got one. I got 5 of them left if anyone would like one. Now the regulations, you cannot go by the regulations from this book because it is an older book. But if you've never seen one of these books, it's pretty, it's really good for beginners because it has a ton of information on rods and reels, on fishing knots, and it really would, they even have different types of swivels. Yeah, the one red is starting soon, guys. Don't forget about that. If you forget about it, they're not going to forget when they check your cooler. They show the different rigs, float rig, Carolina rig. Even shows how to fillet a fish. Just little stuff. How shows you how to get a hook out of your hand if you do. So the latest I have heard concerning the pier is that sometime in early August, the COJ will put out an RFP, which basically means they're sending out the parameters for, okay, this is what we're looking for in a vendor to run it. Now, who wants to bid on it? 2 weeks, and so then the people will bid on it. And from what I've been told, it's not a long process. Once the bid goes out, 1 to 2 weeks, they decide, and then after that, they sign the contract, and then the vendor will come in. So I would say, look, I'm not into their secret meetings. I'm just going off of what I've heard from a few different people who actually know what's going on. They tell me they know what's going on, right? But I would say maybe end of September, early October, they might start charging. Now, if the RFP goes out early August and boom, they got 3 or 4 people bidding and they're able to. No, he does not. Taylor does not know. But if the RFP is only out for a week and they pick a vendor, because the vendor and COJ will decide basically on what they're going to charge. And if what I'm hearing is true, I don't want to jump the gun. I think the fishermen will be happy with some of the options they're going to allow. I'm hoping it's true. And when we find out, I'll make sure to let everyone know that wants to fish up there, it will eventually be charging. And if you've seen the last weekend, there must have been 400 people out there. Wes, that's one of the options I'm hearing, which would be great. For those who know me, maybe those who don't, when the pier was open full length, I probably fished up there over 150, 160 days a year. When a lot of people are leaving the pier in the winter, I'm up there because I'm catching sheephead, one of my favorite fish to catch. It's hard to catch them from the surf. And if you don't have a boat, you know, I'm not a boater. I'm a land crab, so I tend to stay on the sand or on the planks. But hopefully they'll get this all figured out. You know, I don't want to keep complaining. It doesn't do any good. But, you know, like we've told several other people, they've had 3 years to have all their ducks in a row, and it didn't happen. So all we can hope is that going forward, it gets taken care of fast. They get a vendor in there, open up the bathrooms, get a bait shop. And it'll be more convenient for the walkers and the fishermen when they're thirsty just to go down and get a drink, or if they have to use the bathroom, they don't have to walk all the way to the other end of the parking lot. You know, it's a $12 million pier, guys, so hopefully they'll treat it like that. But anyways, I got several of these books. If anyone would like one, leave a comment. I got 5 of them, and I'll get them to you. Or if you know a kid who would like one, you just got to remember the regulations in there, do not go by them. But as far as the other stuff, it's great, guys. I mean, actually, it does have regulations, but even on each fish, it has a brief description of everything about them so you can identify them, what they eat, where they're found, and they were free. I don't know if they still put these out, but they're pretty cool. Well, he can get one if he wants one, but I'll also put them. I'm gonna put a post up on our Facebook group, see if anyone wants one. I'm gonna keep one for myself because they are pretty helpful. But that's it, guys. This weekend, same thing. Extremely hot during the day. Make sure you're drinking water and Gatorade. No soda. I haven't had a soda in 3 weeks now. It wasn't helping me get my work done, and it makes you dehydrated really fast. And I also I got them at Sprouts up the road from us. They're little fizzy packets that you mix with 1 16-ounce bottle of water, and you sip on that through the day, and it keeps you from getting dehydrated. It has all the electrolytes and sodium that your body needs when you're constantly sweating. If you didn't know it, when you're working out in the heat, you can lose up to 3 liters an hour, which translates, I think I read, to like 6 to 7 pounds. Yeah, man, Wes, catch them up. Go early and get out of the heat before it gets cranking. When football season kicks off, guys, that's usually when the fishing kicks off in the surf. So we're not far away. I just know last year at this time there was already quite a few mullet in the surf, and we were catching trout and reds up and down the surf. But every year is different. The mullet will arrive when they arrive, and when they do, let's have some fun. So with that being said, if you get out there and fish, go early. The water's going to be dirty unless you can go up to Huguenot or something, get in some clean water, and hopefully you find some fish. This time of year is really rough. You know, it's hard to do reports when there's not much to report. I don't want to report on catfish, spots, and croakers, but it is what it is. If you have your shark permit, that's not a problem right now to catch a shark. I've seen some 5 and 6 footers coming up pretty consistently up and down Jack's Beach for people who are fishing for them. So if you got the gear, get out there and go catch one. Lots of people get a picture with it, right? All right, guys, y'all have a great night. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.